everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Maximizing Your Season of Singleness. And today we have two lovely guests with us. We have Deacon Greg and his lovely fiance, Dion. And we're going to be talking about how they focus on God and how that got them back into the dating game. So we're going to start there, and that will be my first question for both of you. How did focusing on God prepare you for getting back into the dating game, and how did you know it was time for dating?
You want to start?
You start on that one.
So, of course, I've been a member here of Enoch for some years. I've been divorced for about 5 years, and didn't really know how to date when I first separated and got divorced, and dated, honestly, not a lot of people, but dated a couple different people, and things just weren't working out. Until I finally, just my prayer to the Lord was just help me find the right person. I did not pray for a particular person or a particular type of person or a particular anything other than I knew that I needed to be equally yoked. So that was really my only thing. And then I just prayed, Lord, help me do it the right way. Help me find the right person and help me know when I found the right person. And then I just left it to the Lord at that point.
Okay. I like that, equally yoked.
Equally yoked
So
was the one criteria. That was the most important criteria for sure.
Important, most definitely. So what about you, Ms. Dion?
So I wrote God a letter, and I said, this is what I want in a man. And when I look back after meeting Greg, it checked every single box. So for example, that I put God-fearing, that he was kind, sweet, that he needed to be sexy, but sexy to me, not to the world, but sexy to me, someone who's an intellectual. What I found that was unique with our relationship that I had not had in relationships before is that we were very complementary to each other as well as supplementary. And so what I mean by that is not only do our personalities and likes and some dislikes work together, but that we supplement each other. So where my strengths may be his opportunities, and then his strengths may be my opportunities. So then that way we kind of equal and balance each other out.
That's awesome. So what were some of the things, what made you focus on God? What turned you to him? We had a discussion one day in the lobby, maybe not last Sunday, but Sunday prior, and you said you surrendered. You just finally had to give it to God and surrender. So at that point, how did that look? How did surrendering look to you both? And then what were some of the things that you had to go through to get you to this point of actually saying, okay, it's time to get back out there. I'm ready to date again.
Do you want to go first?
I'm happy to. Sure.
Okay.
So again, when I had been married for quite a while, and so when I first got divorced, and one of the things that I realized in looking back, which I've already said, that the issue of being equally yoked, and that was not where I was before. And so I recognized that immediately as a real problem. Again, I had been I had married the first serious person that I had dated. So I had really didn't even have a whole lot of world experience in the dating field, because I'd met my ex-wife in college and had been married up until, again, about 5 years ago. When I first went out, I don't know that I feel like I made mistakes, but I did make mistakes in that I wasn't focused in the right way. I just thought, well, here I am, now what do I do, right? I had the same questions that everybody has dating. And here I was, a grown man in my 50s trying to answer the questions that a lot of people are worrying about in their teens and 20s and 30s and 40s and all the way through. So again, I don't feel like I made any mistakes in that. I don't regret. I never met anybody that was bad or that I had a problem with or that I felt like I shouldn't have gotten to know them. But I just wasn't finding the right person. I was finding nice people, but I wasn't finding the right person. And I really recognized that I just didn't know how to do it right. I mean, I just didn't know how to do it on my own, as with so many things in my relationship life was the exact same way. I just recognized after a few years that I just didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
And again, my prayer was, Lord, just help me do it the right way. Help me not to hurt anybody. Help me not to hurt myself. Help me not to, make any mistakes. Because again, I don't think I made mistakes. I was just meeting the wrong people. But I just came to a point, and I don't know when, but really, honestly, right before we met, within weeks before we met, that I just realized, Lord, just help me do it the right way. Just help me find the right person. And again, we have a little bit different experience in that. Dion, again, sort of had like a list of who she was looking for, right? and I really didn't have that list. I really didn't. I just thought, Lord, just help me. So just help me know it when it's there. Just help me recognize it when it's there.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. You said you asked God to help you not hurt yourself or anyone else. Correct. So is it safe to say that there were some things that God had to burn off of you, or some things that he had to draw out of you first before you could get to that point before he presented her to you?
Sure. I would say, again, I had been married for 32 years.
Oh, wow.
So 32 years.
Okay.
That's a lot of people would call it people would call it baggage, right? That was, I definitely came into my recently single world with a lot of background baggage, and I'm not putting anything on anybody. But again, I knew that I didn't know how to do things.
You took some accountability for yourself, for your own actions.
Well, right, sure.
Your previous marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, I didn't know, how did I wind up in that position to begin with?
Okay.
I didn't know, I just had to sort of come to that self-realization of, wow, here I am again in my 50s. I'm single. What happened? How did that happen? Yeah. And I didn't know the answer to that question.
Wow.
And so again, just not too long before we met, I really my prayer was, Lord, just help me understand what to do. Just help me to know where I am and where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. That's awesome.
My experience, however, was quite different.
Okay.
I was dating too, but then, I would find myself in these dating situations where I'm trying to make it work, or I'm trying to make this individual fit into this mold, and I'm getting what do you call it when they getting the red lights,
the red flags.
The red flags. Thank you. I'm getting them, but let it go. Ignoring it.
Okay.
For me, the pinnacle point was when I decided to be good to myself, to love myself, and to build my relationship with God.
Okay.
And that was part of my surrender.
Okay.
Because clearly my way wasn't working. I also feel that too, some of the relationships that I had before that didn't work out was to prepare me for the relationship that was going to come, so that I would appreciate when God sent him to me, that I would recognize that he was for me and that he's good for me.
Okay.
And I actually concur exactly with that. As I said, I don't think I made mistakes, but I definitely, the experiences that I did have immediately after I separated and got divorced definitely helped me to get to the position emotionally and mentally to be able to be in a relationship, because I really had a lot to learn. And I learned it sort of through trial and error somewhat, honestly. That did help to prepare me to be ready to actually be in a real relationship. And then it was that again, plus honestly turning over to the Lord at that point. But yeah, that helped me. The mistakes that I made were learning experiences. They helped me to realize what was important and what was, what I was looking for. So you have to be willing to make mistakes. That's for sure.
Most definitely. That kind of leads right into your first marriage. Have you ever been married before?
No.
Okay.
So this will be my first marriage.
Okay, but you've had serious relationships, long-term relationships.
I have.
Okay, and you were married. That's a long time.
32 years is a minute.
Yeah, that's a big change to go from 32 years married to single all of a sudden. how do you feel things will be different now in this marriage versus your first marriage now with you following Christ? Not to say that you weren't before, but really focusing on him right now, and how has that changed? How will that be different for you?
I think it's I don't blame that on the demise of my prior marriage, but being able to share, coming here every week and every Sunday and every Wednesday, coming here together, and then talking about it as we're on our way into church, talking about it as we're on our way home. How about that message? That part of it resonated with me, and then the other person will be able to say, "Oh, you know what? You're right." So those sorts of activities together. Number one, they're important for an individual just to be here and know it. Definitely. But to share those experiences, and we try to be here. We make every effort to be here every single Sunday and every single Wednesday, and that togetherness and those shared experiences, we hope and have every intention to continue that in the future. I think that really helps us to have that more connected relationship. I think that has helped, and I think it will continue to help us to stay strong.
So I just wanted to point out, so on the podcast that Pastor Daniels did about Ruth.
Yes.
So I watched it first. I was like, Greg, you gotta see it. You gotta watch it. Have you watched it yet? Like, it's really, really good. So learning from Pastor Daniels from that way, I think has helped to enrich our relationship. Like, sometimes it's nice to know that we are doing things correctly. And then sometimes it's nice to know, okay, here are opportunities. This is how we can love each other better. This is how the Lord wants us to appreciate and love each other. So that's been really instrumental. But there was also things that we kind of came into agreement with from day one. In terms of what our intentions were. And we made it known to each other, right, that neither one of us were into casual dating. And if we had a difference of opinion, that was okay. I wish you well, he wished me well, and have a great life. But we also had great communication at the beginning too. So as to say, this is what I'm looking for, and here's where I would like to be. We didn't put a timetable on anything. It just so happened with COVID, kind of throw our courting process into warp speed. Because, we were limited to who we could be around. So we were around each other a lot. So we found out early on the little nuances and things about each other that, can I deal with that? Is this a deal breaker? Can I love him in spite of that?
Oh, well, yes, you can.
Yes, you can, and I do. I do.
Yeah.
I do, and I'm gonna do.
All right.
I do, and I will.
You guys have pointed out some great things. You said as far as dating, you were both intentional, and you let one another know, this is what I'm dating for marriage, for purpose, and not just to have fun. So that's something that we can all take from that. Women and men, if you're looking for what's next in your life, then you want to be intentional about what you're doing. And if you're not serious, then let others know, then I'm not looking to get remarried again or any of that. It's great to be honest about it, because so often people are not always honest about what their intentions are, and it can be very misleading and heartbreaking to others when you're looking for one thing and you get something else. So, and then I can also tell here on another note, I can see that Greg is a leader. Both of you, I hear it even in just his voice and just the way he kind of takes control of things. And then watching you look at him in such a loving manner and awe in that sense, like, okay, she's ready to follow, and, whatever you need her to do. So how would you say, with both of you being here in the church participating, how will your lives as a couple enhance God's kingdom, or just walking in purpose together? How will that, I'm trying to put it in the right words, how will just your lives as a couple enhance God's kingdom? What do you have a ministry? I know you're already in ministry, But what are some of your plans, I guess I should say? Does that make sense?
I think you're asking us like
how will fulfilling God's purpose
as a couple as opposed to as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope that other people would be able to, share in our experience and maybe be able to resonate or like relate.
Okay.
I wasn't in my 50s yet when I met you. But, and I don't know how many women out there, when you're getting your 40s and your 50s and you feel like you're under this pressure to make a decision on, do I get in this relationship or do I remain single? And we have so many other outside influences.
Okay.
I think that sometimes make us feel like we have to do it this way. We have to do it that way. But again, I can't say enough. You have to help God. Well, not that you have to help God get you ready, but
do your part.
Right. You have to do your part in that. And Pastor Daniels often preaches about feeling worthy. I mean, he talked about that today.
He did.
And I honestly can say I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel that I was worth anything good.
That was my problem over the years.
That, okay, I'm just destined for these dead-end relationships, for the significant other to treat me with less than respect, not protect me, not take care of me, and all of those things that Greg clearly does for me.
Yes, okay.
But it wasn't until I finally said to myself, I am worthy.
You saw yourself worthy.
I saw myself
first,
worthy. Yeah.
And then you attracted what you were worthy of.
Yeah.
As we see.
In a sense, it's almost, I think, God was putting the pieces together to come together when they were supposed to. We've talked about if we had met, I mean, if he wasn't married, but if we had met, 10, 20 years ago, we just would not have been right for each other.
Okay.
I think the experiences that we've had in our relationships and in life is what prepared us for our relationship that we have now.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that it would have been as beautiful as it is now.
Okay. You appreciate one another more. A lot more.
Absolutely. But I'm glad that I changed my way of thinking, about myself.
Yes, most definitely. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Inside and out.
Thank you. And that you truly, sounds so cliche, but when people say that you have to love yourself if you want somebody to love you, it's cliche. It may even sound a little corny, but it's true.
It is true.
It is true. And I feel like it wasn't until I decided that I was going to love myself just as much as I love other people.
That's right. That's it.
That I am going to start treating myself as well as I treat other people.
That's right.
Why should I take you out to dinner? I should take myself out to dinner.
That's right.
Why am I paying to get your nails done? I should pay to get my nails done. Not saying that you're not supposed to do those things.
But I understand.
But you need to be that good to yourself.
You have to put yourself first. After you put God first, put yourself first. You take care of yourself, then you can take care of other people properly. Yeah. And you don't feel left out or like you're missing something. So you're happier all around. So.
And it kind of worked out because when Greg and I first met, yes, I believed in God, I believed in Jesus, but I had stopped physically going to church.
Okay.
And he would come back all excited about the sermons and that he would go to 2 on Sunday. And then he said, why don't you go to church with me? I was like, I'll think about it. And then he got me here and I have not left since.
See, same here when I started. And that's how as like you said, being equally yoked. And then you're already there, as Pastor Daniels and I have said in the past, walking in purpose. So when you met your Ruth, bring her along, you get her on board with you as far as coming into church, because we also know that just because you come to church does not mean that you have a relationship with God. So you already had your relationship anyway. So he just said, okay, well, come on, join me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And part of that process in looking back is, you always sort of have your friends that you want to sort of vet You know, your romantic interest, right? Hey, I want you to meet my sister or my best friend or whatever. And really and truly, and I don't know what would have happened if Dion had not clicked here at Enoch. But that was important for me. This Enoch is my family. That's why we want everybody to come to our wedding. This is my family, and it was important for Dion to come here and meet people, and for other people to say, "Oh, we met your girlfriend, and she seems so sweet." I mean, that was important to me that people, that I got that sort of positive feedback. And so, like I say, I don't know what it would have happened. I'm not saying things wouldn't have worked out if that happened, but that was certainly it helped me to know that I was going in the right direction. To have that positive interaction when she did come here to church and ultimately join. So that was important.
I'm excited.
That was very helpful. Well, we're excited too.
You guys are ready. November 20th.
November 20th.
Okay.
Yes, November 20th.
Right here at EBC.
Okay. All right. So I hope we're not, I think we are. Production just said we're running low on time.
That
we gotta
was
wrap it up.
fast.
It does go really fast once we get started. That happens to us every week. So I can talk about this all day.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Can I just say it again? I appreciate the word that time is important. Certainly, I don't think either one of us come here as like any kind of, oh, look at us, or we know how it worked or whatever. I don't know how it worked. I don't know how it came together, other than honestly, God prepared us through our prior experiences. But as far as coming here to say, oh, you know, we have some formula or we know this or that or whatever, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We've been blessed, and we know that, and we are thankful for that. But we certainly don't. I mean, I hope nobody feels like, oh, you know, what are there just because they're getting married? They think it's not like right. What's the secret? People ask us, and we just say, and I say, I don't know.
Well, I will tell you, God is the answer.
Well, you're right.
Divine intervention.
You're right. Amen.
That's right.
Amen. That is the answer.
When it comes to God, there are no rituals or routines or anything like that. You just have to give it to Him and let Him guide you along the way.
Amen.
So I would wrap it up there and just letting everyone know that's it right there. Like they said, God did it for them. They surrendered, focused on God, and they found one another. So, and I want everyone to know this is not about how to find a mate. That's not what it's about. It's just about focusing on God and preparing for what He says is next in your life, period, regardless of what that is. So, and once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you again next week. Don't forget to like the video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe also. And enjoy the remainder of your week. Thank you.